Okay, so this is how to and why you should back up your Steno dictionary to the cloud. First, you should always back up your Steno dictionary, but many people back it up only to an external hard drive. And there's one or two major flaws with that premise. External hard drives can fail, just like normal hard drives can fail. Hard drives are susceptible to occasional random failures. They basically are, there are magnets, and a lot of drives also involve motors, and you can have a drive that fails, and then you send it away to get it restored, and that works often, but it's not a guarantee. You should have your data backed up to some external media that's not necessarily a physical piece of hardware. So in comes the cloud. What is the cloud? You could watch a million YouTube videos on the subject of what is a cloud or what is the cloud, but for our intents and purposes, it's just a internet-based storage system where you can put files and access them through an online service or portal. There are many popular cloud services that are free. Dropbox is very famous, Copy is another, Cubby is another, and Google Drive is very famous too. So I'm going to go over which cloud service you should use. You actually should use more than one, and I'll explain that towards the end of the video. Should your laptop or your computer fail and your data is not able to be recovered, maybe your laptop falls in a river or something like that and it's unusable, you can buy a new computer, and at least you'll have access to whatever files you have on the cloud, because you'll simply reinstall these cloud services on your new computer, and the files will be there, because the files are on the cloud. The files are on servers out there in cloud land, and they're available for you on any computer. All of these cloud services also tend to have apps, so you can even pull them up on your smartphone. Now let's go over how to back up your dictionary. I'm using Eclipse version 6, but 5 and 4 have the same function. You simply go right here to your backup button. If you don't see this button, by the way, you simply go to Window and View Toggles. Again, version 6, 5, and 4 should all have this, and View Toggles 1 and possibly 2 if you don't see it. Then go to the Backup button, select your main dictionary and your user settings. Choose the appropriate IONI if you have different dictionaries, but choose the one you use most often. Here, select Browse. And I always, just as a habit, back it up to the desktop so it's easy to find. Hit OK, and you're done. Close Eclipse. Here is the dictionary. Let's see. What the heck is it? Okay, so here is the dictionary that we just backed up. You can see I named it for today, but yours just might say your name or whatever you expect your main dictionary to be called. It'll be there. What we're going to do is we're going to right-click on it and press Copy. Now, you're going to need to set up several cloud services. Let's just take a look at a couple of them. There are a multitude of them, and I'll talk about some different ones later. Here we have Dropbox, Google Drive, Copy, Cubby. For our purposes, they're all basically the same thing. Each one is going to ask you to make a login, a user login, and a user password probably know how to do that. You simply just can go to Dropbox and sign up, or go to Google Drive and sign up. You'll need a Google account, and the same with Copy and Cubby. After you set up your account, which involves an email verification, this is Windows 7. In Windows 8, it'd be a very similar procedure. Windows 8, you have a folder button right here. So simply go into Windows Explorer and go to your user setting. If you can't find it the way I just found it, simply go to your C drive most often, and you go to Users, and you go to whichever one you are, and that's effectively the same thing. So in Dropbox, you simply copy and I'm sorry, we already copied it. We're now pasting it. And if you'll notice, it happens so instantly that you didn't see it. But again, effectively we do the same thing. We go to My Cubby and observe what happens here. You'll see the Cubby icon, which is this one, change for a moment as I paste the file. So I'll put the file in. Take a look. Do you see that it's blinking a little bit? It's changing colors. That's because it's right now syncing to the cloud. And in a moment it'll be done because it's a small file. You can see it says 69%, 98%. Cubbies are up to date. So now my dictionary is on the Cubby cloud because it's successfully synced to the cloud. It's the same process for each different cloud service. Simply copy and paste the file into the different clouds, and they sync to the servers. And then if you ever need to download it onto another computer, simply install the program or the cloud client on that computer, and you log in with your email and your password, and all the files are there on the server available for you to download. Uploading is as simple as what we've done, just copying and pasting the file into the appropriate cloud folder. I just want to make a brief note about why you should use more than one cloud service. Typically clouds are reliable, but you do get what you pay for. These are all free. So one study, for example, found that in a 6-month period, Dropbox was down for what amounted to 3 or 4 days. So it doesn't mean that it was down for a 3-hour block. It just means that there were intervals of maybe 15 minutes or an hour where you wouldn't be able to access your files on Dropbox. That's on Dropbox's end, and it's completely out of your control. So if you back up your dictionary to more than one cloud, say Dropbox and Cubby and Copy and any others, Google Drive, etc., you can pull it from one of the services in the event that one of the other services are down. So it's good to, just as an extra step of precaution, use more than one cloud service so that you'll always hypothetically have access to the files on the cloud. I just want to make one last note about cloud security. Generally speaking, your files are protected by a password. And yes, there have been instances where the passwords were compromised and people had access to cloud-related passwords. Does this mean you shouldn't keep your dictionary on it? No, of course not, because the worst-case scenario, they'll delete your dictionary or copy your dictionary off the cloud. It doesn't really affect you in any way. It does mean, however, you should exercise caution if you're putting jobs onto the cloud and the jobs have sensitive or confidential information on them. if you want to back up your jobs to the cloud, you can effectively buy into clouds which advertise themselves as more secure. But in practice, I don't think any internet cloud is invulnerable to attacks. So exercise caution when backing up sensitive information to the cloud. That's it. Thanks for watching.